All right, man, peace. So, I was watching the Star Wars film Revenge of the Sith, and in regards to what the Star Wars saga is about, or the core elements of the Star Wars saga, that's another video for another day. I'll probably touch on it a little bit in this video, but I want to make this video right here because of a certain element of the Star Wars saga pertaining to the fall of Anakin Skywalker, who really is the main protagonist and antagonist of the entire 9-part series. Everything truly revolves around his character. And when you watch the films, I believe that he's an excellent example for brothers who may come on my channel to help illustrate many of the themes that I try to convey video after video. The reason why Anakin Skywalker fell and he never reached his full potential was because of jealousy and fear, which evolved into anger. And it was all predicated off of his idolization of the two main females in his life, that being his mother and the female that he fell in love with. And you're going to watch right here how the knowledge and understanding that he venerated the woman is what allowed him to be manipulated by his guru, by his Svengali, that being Senator and later Emperor Palpatine. Now let's watch the dream that Anakin Skywalker has, which is a premonition of the mother of his children's demise and how it affects him. Now, for those of you who don't know, basically the Star Wars series is, it basically revolves around the constant battle between quote-unquote good and quote-unquote evil, the good side and the bad side of the users of the Force, which is a spiritual energy that is pervasive throughout the universe. Certain figures have a higher ability to manipulate this energy, and they're known as quote-unquote Jedi Knights or Sith Lords. The quote-unquote good users are known as Jedis. The quote-unquote bad users are known as Sith Lords. And when certain people don't know how to properly balance their life, their emotions, they can fall into the dark side. Now, one of these such people is this character here of Anakin Skywalker. I'm just giving a very brief synopsis of the series, so that people who may not be familiar with the franchise can get a greater understanding of where I'm coming from. Because this man here, Anakin Skywalker, because he idolized certain figures in his life, particularly his mother and his lady who's laying in the bed next to him, that led to his fall and his demise. Because he was unable to put things in their proper perspective. With all the power that he had, he was still power hungry. With all the prestige that he had, he still felt powerless. And that led him to do desperate things, which led to his fall and the complete disintegration of everything that he had anyway. So let's see what happens here. As you can see, he has the robotic arm. Transhumanism is another theme in the Star Wars franchise. And the more he descends into the carnal aspect of the use of the quote-unquote Force, the spiritual energy that the Jedi Knights and the Sith Lords are able to tap into, the more he descends into the carnal aspect, the dark side of the Force, the more and more he loses the fleshly body that he has, and he becomes more robotic, which represents the fact that he's losing his humanity. He does not understand that, though.
What's bothering you?
Nothing. I remember when I gave this to you.
How long is it going to take for us to be honest with each other?
It was a dream.
Bad?
Like the ones I used to have about my mother, just before she died.
And?
And it was about you.
Tell me.
It was only a dream. You die in childbirth.
And the baby?
I don't know.
It was only a dream.
I won't let this one become real.
This baby will change our lives. I doubt the Queen will continue to allow me to serve in the Senate. And if the Council discovers you're the father, you'll be expelled.
I know.
Look, the point of me running this scene is just as a preamble for brothers to understand that the true theme of this film of Star Wars is idolatry. Once again, this character of Anakin Skywalker, he was supposed to be the one who, quote unquote, brought balance to the Force, but he was unable to fulfill his destiny on the light side because he worshipped carnal things. He wasn't spiritual enough to keep things in their proper perspective. And it led to him being plunged into a world of pure carnality and a world where he lost everything that he sought to hold on to anyway, because he did not know how to love in a healthy way. He never had balance in his life. When you get a true understanding of this film, he is a pure creation of the Force. His guru, a man by the name of Palpatine, basically is the one who created him. For those of you who don't know, Star Wars is just a metaphor of the old Babylonian Kemetic mystery school, quote unquote, mythology. Really just the coded version of the life of Nimrod, who was also known as Asar or Osiris. Anakin Skywalker, or Darth Vader, represents Osiris, the god of death. Okay? His son Luke Skywalker represents Heru. The term Luke meaning light bearer, and one of the names for Heru was the Skywalker. And you brothers could look that up. Luke is the one who ends up redeeming his father and helping his father fulfill his destiny. But that's further down the line in the series. The point in this scene that I'm trying to illustrate to brothers is, once again, how art imitates life very well. The reason why certain films resonate in the spirit of the viewer is because they're able to convey realistic scenarios in people's lives. Point being is that this man loved this female so inordinately, and he was so fearful of her demise and the instability that it would cause in his life, that he took desperate measures. She loved him in a far more healthy way than he loved her. And because he did not put the spiritual aspect first, he ended up losing everything. So this tale is truly a tragic tale. So now this character of Anakin, he's going to confer with Yoda. And let's see what Yoda tells him. Yoda is going to truly give him the words that he needs to be living by, but he's not going to hearken because of the energy that is on him is a carnal energy, and he cannot see the higher spiritual level. He's too fearful, and because of his fear is going to lead him into a course that's truly going to help him fulfill his true destiny, which is basically to bring balance to the Force by destroying the light side and also the dark side. That's truly how he brought balance, by being the destroyer.
Premonitions? These visions you have.
They're of pain suffering, death.
Yourself you speak of, or someone you know?
Someone.
Close to you?
Yes.
Careful you must be when sensing the future, Anakin. The fear of loss is a path to the dark side.
You see that? Even though this is just a film, a lot of the dialogue is very pertinent. Like I stated in a previous video, brother asked me about death and the fear of death. You cannot fear losing anything in the fleshly life, because that leads to a mental degradation. It leads to you making rash and very bad decisions. Many men go out there and they execute a contractual agreement with a woman called marriage because they're scared that they're going to lose her. It's very important that you put the Most High first, because when you put anything in the flesh on a pedestal, it leads you to making decisions that will result in a far worse fate in this life than the alternative. And Yoda's going to expound on this. Let's just listen to what the little green man has to say.
I won't let these visions come true, Master Yoda.
Death is a natural part of life.
Yes.
Of life. Rejoice for those around you who transform into the Force. Mourn them, do not. Miss them, do not. Attachment leads to jealousy.
Yes, sir.
Jealousy. The shadow of greed, that is.
What must I do, Master Yoda?
Train yourself to let go of everything you fear to lose.
Hey. Hey. This is why he's named Yoda. The term Yoda is just an archaic way of the term Judah. For those of you brothers who are in the knowledge. All right? The scriptures tell you that Judah has ascended beyond his brethren. Right? Judah was the leader. But anyway, point being is this, as Yoda stated so well, you cannot allow yourself to develop unhealthy attachments to anything in the flesh. Okay? You cannot allow that. You must love with propriety. If you don't love with propriety, it leads to over-infatuation, which leads to mental instability. It leads to you doing things that will end up destroying yourself and the person or the entity that you claim to love so much. There's a difference between loving and being in love. This character here of Anakin Skywalker is not just in love with the female that he impregnated, he's madly in love. And as anyone who's seen this film knows, it leads to the demise of everything around him. That's why I stated he fulfilled his destiny, but in a way that they did not anticipate. He was predicted to bring balance to the Force. How did he end up bringing balance to the Force? By destroying both the light side and the dark side. He brought them both to nothing. So he is the destroyer god, like I stated. He is Nimrod or Asar. That is what this film is allegorically supposed to represent. As the destroyer god, Shiva. Shiva is just the East Indian version of Asar or Osiris. He's the god of death who was redeemed by his son Luke, the light bringer, the Skywalker, Haru, the god of time. All right, but that is a more in-depth extrapolation of this film. That's for another video, for another day. But I just wanted to concentrate on the relationship dynamic between Anakin Skywalker and his lady, because there were some very, very real scenarios that were laid out in this film in regards to why he fell. And I see it every day in the real world in regards to why many men fall, particularly the so-called black man.